So magical abortions?
Dick clouds.
Huh. Yeah, okay.
Why not?
Huh. Well, I guess we both read Magic for Liars by Sarah Gailey.
We sure did.
What'd you think?
A lot of things.
Yeah. Can I quote you on that?
Yeah, I think you can. What'd you think?
Yeah. Things happened. Things definitely happened.
A lot. Yep.
I gotta admit that I think for a magical detective murder mystery, I guessed who the murderer was after 3 pages, and I was correct. However, I did not see the magical abortion coming.
Agreed. I had about 3 running theories, and one was definitely correct, but same thing. Did not see that part coming.
Nope. So, Q, what'd you think?
Well, this was definitely a different type of book. We have our main character of Ivy, who is a private investigator, but she's actually a twin sister to a witch, or I guess they call them mages in this one. And they are, wait, did they call them mages? Shit, am I thinking?
They don't like to be called wizards.
Did they do wizards?
No, they never. She was telling the bartender that they don't like to be called wizards.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're mages.
They don't really go over a full terminology, I think, because they don't like to be called wizards, because I think Harry Potter was a thing in this, and they're like, we're not like that. But there is a magical school that her twin witchy sister teaches at. And
not Hogwarts.
Yeah, it's not Hogwarts. And there's a murder that happens at this school, and because the principal or headmaster knows about her teacher's twin sister, who is a PI, wants her to investigate this to figure it out, because their magical police said, no, this is not a murder, and she's 100% like, yes, this was, she needs someone to take another look. And the real struggle is that our 2 twins, Ivy and Tabitha, are estranged, because it's kind of a strained relationship between them, as one magical and one non-magical. There's a lot of family drama, but lo and behold, she does in fact go to the school to investigate this murder.
So, yeah, it's definitely not Hogwarts, because that just sounds like your typical day in America.
Yeah. I did like that, because it did really show like how an American magic school would kind of run. There's a really good part of it where the principal is like, they're just teenagers. They're gonna be just like regular teenagers who don't have magic. It's nothing like the movies. I appreciated that part. There were a lot of good points in this book. There were a few like, what points as well. It is an adult book, which is something I don't normally read, because they do tend to get very gory and, sexified and stuff. This one, less so of the sexifiedness, but the gore is definitely there, especially just on the first page. Like,
definitely something else I wasn't expecting. I usually actually don't read the summaries of books, because they give away too much. But for this one, I just wanted to take a kind of a peek, because when books come with magic element to that, I want to see how much fantasy I'm diving into. So I was pleasantly surprised when the jackets pretty much just said drunk detective, upset, hates life. Oh, she has a magical sister. And it's like, okay. But then off the bat, page 1, you get a split in half poor woman in the library. And I was like, okay. This is the Harry Potter, disgruntled Harry Potter fans want.
From here on out, spoiler alerts happening. But that's all kind of the information you'll get just from reading that first little prologue bit. But we are going to be spoiling a bit. So if you don't want spoilers and you want to read the book for yourself, click away now. And then come back and read the book.
Go look at these fine videos by us that are hopefully going to be annotated right here.
Hey.
Okay, now that we have the spoilers warning out of the way, again, as a mystery novel, I'm not too keen on ever finding out who the murderer is. So I'm always pleasantly surprised when I hear about it, but not for this one, for obvious reasons. But you're smart. You read 5,000 books in a week or two. What were some of your theories?
I had a lot of working theories because I'm fairly well versed in the tropes of mystery thriller.
Oh, well versed.
I'm very well versed in it. And I had a lot of working theories because Sarah Gailey presents you with a lot of different options. And usually within the first, like in a mystery TV show, in the first 10 minutes, the killer is there. So I still kind of played to that here within like the first 50-ish pages, like the killer is going to be there. Depended on what kind of writer Sarah Gailey wanted to be. Did she want to do the staple, the love interest that we suddenly meet is the killer? Do we want it to be the kids did it? Or is it the sister? And those are my 3 working ones, because we got like the bitchy girl character who was already temperamental and already like hated throughout the school because she's an amazing witch, but you don't want to cross her because she did that whole thing with the lockers and calling Samantha a slut. And you already see that she's a little unhinged, and she has this half brother who, thinks he's the chosen one, which it would have been really funny if it had been the said chosen one.
The said Harry Potter weirdo.
A very fun trope mix up, but I'm like, I don't think that's what she's doing. But his sister would be a good option because she's very involved in the investigation. She tries to put herself in that position, which is a lot of what you can see in some murders.
Can you imagine if like a Scooby-Doo episode like opened with like a ripped apart woman, and then the gang was like, I wonder who could have done this, guys?
Gee whiz.
Yeah. Oh shit. I called him homicide detective into our high school.
Jinkies, who could have done that?
Man, I thought the opening was like super grotesquely described too.
That was very unexpected because we're all like chill in a nice little library, and we've got Daniel just sitting there, reading his books, and then what? Hello, here's the ride we're going on.
Yeah, violence and magic, that's kind of fun. I have to admit I'm getting bored of all the magic tropes in the literal sea world right now. It's all pretty tame.
Yeah.
Sort of. In the sense of like, you either go hardcore R with everything, there's no like in between, or you go G and you go,
Halloween Town.
Yeah, exactly. This is like kind of like that nice fit in between where it's like the realisticness, but then you have high school students making dick clouds because they're bored and they have nothing to do. So I have to admit that when I was reading it, I ironically guessed who the murderer was. And I even told you about it. And I called and I said, is it the sister? And lo and behold, it ends up being the sister because that's the only obvious, not obvious red herring that the whole book had to offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if in the early stages, I was like, either is the sister or the sister is somehow involved if she didn't actually commit the
Like she had to have been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of was leaning towards Rahul, who is our love interest of
Oh yeah.
physical magic.
Oh yeah.
But, yeah.
The one male. Was he the one dude in this?
There's another one. The English teacher's a dude too, and that's why I mix them up.
Oh, but the other English, the English one was that like creepy semi-pedophile. Okay, so I guess like in Sarah Gailey's version of badass women, all the men have to be either like murder suspects or just like awful off the bat.
Yeah.
So that's forgettable.
Yeah, there was only like 3 guys in this entire thing.
And 2 of them were like deranged and weird.
Yeah. I appreciate that, actually. Then it does in fact pass Bechdel test. That's true too.
That is true.
Hey, Rahul felt like he could be, and that was only if Sarah Gailey wanted to be very predictable.
Yeah.
Because
I'm glad she wasn't at least that bluntly obvious.
Yeah. And I appreciate it. The reason I thought that, because I've never read Sarah Gailey before. I don't know what kind of author she wanted her to be. And I thought Rahul because he was immediately interested in her, and he was he seemed to know a lot about Tabitha, because they're always like, oh, Tabitha magic this for me, or Tabitha helped me with this. And I'm like, seem really bent on Tabitha. And is he just interested in Ivy because she's the knockoff version? So that's why I felt like maybe he's the murderer, because Tabitha also, one of the big secrets is that she is a lesbian. And because she didn't like his own advances, he's going to go for the other sister now. And he murdered the lesbian, the Tabitha's significant other.
Yeah.
That's why the murder happened. I'm like, that's really predictable. I still get it if it did work out that way, but thankfully it did not.
I think I can appreciate where Sarah Gailey was going with, let's have her be a lesbian and not have it be shocking, but it ends up being shocking for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Nobody cared until Tabitha thought she didn't think anybody cared, but she had to keep it like a giant secret or something, right?
Yeah. The whole
maybe a teacher relationship was forbidden or whatever, but then you have the weird pedophile-ish teacher who was dating the student, and that's fine. But you can't have the like 2 sensible in love lesbians.
Right.
Oh no.
Yeah. And just for context, it's not fine that the teacher was dating a student. He technically was dating a student that had graduated, but still really creepy.
Oh yeah, was that what it was? Something. There was some like weird whatever.
Like, she's already graduated. And I'm like,
oh yeah.
Dude.
A lot of like whatever Ivy, the detective, was talking to any of the characters, I honestly kind of zoned out because none of it mattered.
Yeah.
And that maybe is also why it hurt like the mystery of it for me, because once I kind of had like the really hardcore inkling that I knew it was if not Tabitha, then weird deranged Harry Potter boy. If it wasn't those 2, I knew like everybody else's backstories didn't matter. It didn't matter if they were food poisoned or they off like on vacation or whatever their motive was. I'm like, it can't be you.
Yeah. I feel like why those conversations mattered is because we did have a lot of threads being pulled. And because of the magic, like the whole reason why, I think her name was Sarah. Is that the murder victim? I think it's Sarah. Love interest name is Sylvia, not Sarah. My bad. Also chosen one is Dylan. Names corrected. So the reason for all of those conversations is because we needed the explanation for theoretical dynamism.
We could have taken all of that out and literally just, because the sister spoon-fed that to Ivy, where she's like, I think this is what happened. You could have taken all that out, because I'll tell you right now, none of that retained in my tiny little brain.
Well, that's where we get to the magical abortion, though.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Yeah, that's why the kids' storyline is important, because that's how Tabitha figures out that she can do this. It's not radical anymore. That's its only real importance in this storyline, is to be a red herring, but also to explain the magic that kills Sylvia.
Okay. You're right. You're right. Okay, and I guess it's a point. I get the point
Yes.
of the book. The very strong point is that hey, people should probably be able to get abortions if they feel like it without problems or issues.
Yeah.
And then when you can't, there's a problem and an issue. So I totally appreciate and understand that context. But surprisingly, as gruesome as the opening was, Sarah Gailey decided to do the exact same horribly violent, graphically described magical abortion scene, which I'm not finger quoting because
It's not, it's real. This is what happens.
it is because it is what it is. Yeah, so one of the students gets pregnant, and for the big shock value of the book, the big, giant climax reveal is that apparently these Harry Potter wannabes totally can just kind of perform this task on poor girls. And she describes it with incredibly vividness. Like, here's person, right? And person gets
Exploded.
here's person, and person gets taken apart. And then there's little kind of little kidney bean right in the middle, and she just
Yoinks. And then she yeets it.
she eats it hard, and then I swear to God, Kobe into the trash can.
Oh, God.
And that was super gross.
Yeah.
And then right off the bat, they were like, I know who the murderer is. And then that's how they figured it out.
And then it's even more gruesome because now she has to put them back together. And she goes into a lot of detail about all of the little cells coming back together, the
nails
strung up, and
eyeballs,
skin, the eyeballs, and the whole time the kid who is pregnant is very aware that this is happening, and it messes her up.
Oh no. Everybody who was in that room when Dylan went kaboom is traumatized for life.
Yeah, no. Therapy's not going to help that.
No magical Harry Potter land therapist is going to be like, so what's going on?
At this point, obliviate him.
Please, is that an option? Because I don't want to. Oh, you know how so one of the characters, the super old lady nurse,
yes,
who can cure everything but cancer.
Yeah.
She's taking the memories out of her head because of it's like that's pretty much how I felt. It's like, can I remove this from my skull, please? Because I don't want to see. I don't want to see.
Yeah. And though, okay, I will say she did give us that was a foreshadowing with that nurse too for Ivy's stab wound in her shoulder, because she does the little explodey bit.
That's not foreshadowing. You don't get that. Don't.
Foreshadowing of that this exists, because this is why Ivy is like, oh, I thought this was a normal thing because the teacher did it. And then Rahul is like, that is totally theoretical and illegal.
You must be insanely smart, because that would have never crossed my brain that those two things are connected.
Hey.
You doctor-esque reader. This is how I read. Ha ha ha! Magic and detectives. For shock value, I'll give this. I'll give Sarah a couple of pats on the back. She definitely had me shocked twice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the whole reason that Sylvia died.
Yeah.
Tragic.
Mm.
Because one of the secrets, and as soon as the sister slipped up and said that Sylvia was sick, and we had these missing medical records, that's when I was getting way more confident that it was Tabitha. But it wasn't a murder, it was accidental. But that's where I started to figure out that this was definitely not on purpose. There was no malice in this. And especially because of the backstory between the sisters and their mom, who also died of cancer and is really the cause of the rift between the sisters.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, Ivy had asked Tabitha, why can't you just magic mom better?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't realize that was weighing so much on Tabitha as well, which is the whole reason Tabitha went into theoretical magic. So I appreciated that tie-in with their own personal story.
Oh.
That's the whole reason why she does this. And when she finally discovers that not only does Sylvia have this horrible cancer that is everywhere in her body and she doesn't have long to live, once she agrees to do the abortion, she realizes she can do it. So she's like, finally, I can make up for not being able to save my mom. I'm going to save my girlfriend. Wrong. And I thought that just sucked so bad for her because she did everything. She succeeded and she was almost done. And she freaking falls asleep.
Yeah. That also felt like a jip to me a little bit.
Yeah.
It almost felt like she was writing and she was like, okay, well, now I have to have her die.
Yeah.
But how do I do it so the sister is blameless in this? Oh, speaking of being blameless, so once this confession comes out of the sister and she's pouring pretty much the plot out to Ivy and us, Ivy just kind of says, yeah, that's cool. Listen, I know we've had an incredibly difficult, traumatizing, awful childhood with each other, but hey, you and I got drinks like twice this week. So I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm not gonna tell anybody you accidentally murdered your girlfriend.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's fine.
How about that?
Just
it's okay.
Go away.
Don't. Hey, I got you, girl. I felt that. I literally thought she was gonna be like, I got your back, man. And then the sister had been like, thank you, I appreciate it, because I was just trying to do good. And then it's like, sure.
Repercussions for her. I mean, aside from the fact that she killed her girlfriend, but
yeah, a coworker, lover, established teacher at a school. It's fine.
Fine. We'll just fake everything that I've learned, and made that promise to the teachers or the headmistress, being like, yeah, I'm gonna solve this, and I'm gonna bring the murderer to light. We're just gonna not do that now.
I guess she like literally got her cake because she was like, I promise to solve this, and she totally did. And she kind of also gets to eat it because she's like, well, I'm not gonna tell anybody. What a jip. That was so stupid. I didn't like that part at all.
And her whole reasoning was because Alexandra will need a mentor, because lo and behold, Alexandra is the real chosen one. That one I caught very early too. That was easily spotted, because one little nerdy boy going around going, I'm the chosen one, I'm the chosen one, I'm the chosen one. Also, I have a half sister who was born on like the same day with me, but that doesn't matter at all.
Unless he turned out to be the killer, which would have been a lot cooler, because then he was like deranged Harry Potter boy, chosen one, but then also the murderer. Either that was by accident, because, you know, he's just too dorky to actually pull it through. So when it does happen, that would have been more fun. I say that fun as in like a woman got murdered, but you know.
And I agree, because I was kind of hoping it was him, because the whole reason he has this prophecy about being the chosen one is because he's supposed to bring magic into like a new age or something, or he's supposed to reveal something.
Whatever that means. It's
and like yeah. And then like, because we start learning about the dynamism, and I'm like, okay, maybe he figured it out, and he was like, well, I'm the chosen one, nothing can go wrong, and he did this to the teacher and it goes wrong.
Yeah. And then he has to cover it up, and this like super popular half sister who like knows everybody at the school finds out or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that you say that, the whole like magic system in Magic for Liars kind of doesn't, I guess it works, but it's all a moot point.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite parts was definitely the okay, so the murder scene is a library, right?
Yes.
So here's the funny thing. Before they described the school as a run-of-the-mill, your average high school. I imagined it being a castle-esque, tall stained glass windows, and where the murder happens is in the library between these like shelves of magical whispering books, right?
Yeah.
So that sets up like the ambiance. I'm like, okay, I see where this is going. I like it. But when you kind of turn it into your average high school, I don't know about you, but my high school was a very bare bones. Here's a couple of rows of like metal, cheap, thin cases and like a whole bunch of beat up books. And my high school, I remember distinctly because I'm 6 feet tall. The cases only came up to like 5 feet. They were like the short ones, so you can see people walking around. So that's how the woman got murdered, like in between these like dorkly like little dwarfed shelves. That would have been so awkward because you like duck down, you like sneak out of the library. Well, all librarians would see you.
I can only imagine. In my school there was only a few shelves that were pretty tall that you could kind of hide between. And I only remember hiding near them one time. And even then, because we had actually had to hide because we thought we had a shooter in our school when I was in high school. It was not a cell phone. But I was in the library at the time when they like everyone locked down and we had to go hide behind the only tall stacks, and there's like 2 of them. And there's like giant gaps between the books and the shelves. So it's like, we're right there.
Yeah.
No coverage.
Same. Yeah, there's no, again, she builds it up to be like this ancient, homey, dark, you can't see it, it's carpeted. And then it's like, that's not how like you're in the real world high schools, unless you go to a prep school, which this wasn't because nobody had uniforms because she was trying to stay away from the Harry Potter esqueness. And it's like, all right. But now it's like it's harder to imagine that the murder taking place. But anyways, what I was rambling about was she had this really cool premise with these like whispering books.
Yes.
But she doesn't have any background to them.
Mm-hmm.
Or any background on anything, really. It's just like, here's the magic school. You either have magic or you don't. Everybody's sending magic spells to each other instead of texts. That's it.
Yeah. I wish there had been more explanation with why they were whispering and how they got magic to whisper, but other books don't whisper.
Yeah.
And there was no real conclusion with them. Once the murder is revealed, they all just go silent. And it's like,
But yeah, why would they do that? So what? And how would you connect those 2 pieces together? What if they're just stopped whispering because they're tired?
Yeah.
Book.
They lost their voices.
Go to bed.
They need a cough drop.
Okay. And all of a sudden you go, oh yes, it's the murderer. It's like, it is? At least I didn't catch that. I was like,
it'd be kind of funny if they only whispered when someone was around. Like, oh thank God, like they're a Disneyland act, they're like, all right, the kickback, start smoking a cigarette. Oh shit, someone's coming. Death. Oh, they're gone. Okay, cool. So what were you saying?
If you make fun of one trope of like the chosen one, she's got to start like, you either make fun of the magic or you don't. You take it seriously. But if you can't kind of like that in between.
Yeah.
I felt like a little let down on the actual world building itself.
Yeah.
It's easy to make a normal high school, right? But when you add that like magic element to it, you have to like step up to the plate.
I don't know if this might be a Key and Peele skit or if it was from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But every time I think like Wizard School in America is a Key and Peele skit. Like the
one of the metal detectors.
They have like wizard fights in the hallway and they're like break it up and just very it was just such a really funny skit and I'm like, oh, is that what we're going for here with like the dick clouds and
that would have been better.
Can't be removed and stuff? Like
that would have been the weirdest mashup genre of like a thriller murder comedy contemporary piece.
Yeah.
This one had a lot of like heavy themes in it, though. Sorry, what was that?
I wanted it to be like Clue with magic.
Oh, I love Clue.
That's what I wanted.
Oh, you know what? That's it. That's gonna be the next book we write.
That's our collab book.
Yeah, Yeah, 100%. Sarah Gailey, you tried. You tried, my friend. And you got, God, it's so, okay, you and I are both writers.
Yeah.
So honestly, you and I have a very hard time rating anything like a 1 because somebody had to write this. Sarah Gailey wrote this as something that was meant to be shared, and she got passionate about it, and she finished it. So giving anything a 1 is really, really low blow. No matter how bad it is. I don't think I've given like 2 books in my entire life a 1 star.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Magic for Liars? What do you think it gets?
Well, okay. I rated this pretty high.
Mm.
I as a writer, like, she had to think of a lot of these plot threads, weave them through, even though they're very unconventional and they're not like, I definitely wouldn't write it like this, but it's not my story. It's her story. And I thought that the fact that from the get-go, I was like, okay, I'm going to read into the theories. I'm going to see which way we're going. And I'm pulling all the strings and pulling all the motivation. Like, I could have had a crazy, board behind me with all the red strings and the papers everywhere. I was that invested with it. I was a little disappointed with that ending, but I thought that the buildup was good. There were a few scenes in between that I didn't feel were very necessary. I don't think the love interest plot was necessary so much, especially because we got no actual resolution with it.
I just forgot about that.
Yeah, right? It's not that important.
We just finished this book like 48 hours ago.
Yeah.
And I got completely forgotten about that subplot with Raoul.
Right. It's not
and his 3-day-old butter scallops and great cat named Alphabet.
The magic 3-day-old scallops.
Ew.
I work in food service. No.
Ew.
Even if someone told me, oh, I've magicked them for 3 days to stay fresh. No.
That sounds even worse.
It does.
No, thank you.
I don't eat scallops on a normal basis. I'm definitely not eating magic ones. With the romance subplot, I like more conclusion with it, and we weren't given that at the end. She gives you a little inkling as to how things could go on for there, but because we didn't get it, I don't like that, and that made the whole romance subplot pretty moot. So, if I were to give it some kind of rating, I would rate it high, but out of 5 dick clouds, I'd give it like a 4 or a 3.5 dicks. What do you think?
That's fair. I think that is a fair amount of dick clouds.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat. I can't give it a 5 just because I think halfway through, 5 pages in, I already had an inkling of who it was. Halfway through, I didn't care anymore. Then the big shock value happened, and then I got a little bit back invested into it, actually, because I did want to see, it was one of those hard, what the fuck, what, where is this going now type of moment. So then I had to keep reading it, and I'm glad I did. Sometimes I read books that I'm like, I can't believe I wasted my time finishing this. And then, the subplot with the dude completely fell under the floorboards, completely forgot about it until the last page. And I was like, oh, I'm going to wait on the balcony. Maybe we can hang out. I'm like, yeah, okay, if you have nothing better to do. So I can see where she wanted this to land at the end, but just kind of missed the mark for me. So I'll be fair. I think I'm in the same with you. I think I'll give it 3.5, maybe 4 scallops at best. Well, Q, I guess this is the first to bite the dust.
Yeah. Our first buddy read.
Well, here's our first book, Q. Cheers! All right, ready? Okay, here we go.
Wait.
Oh, hang on. Other side of the camera. You're facing this way. I'm going this way. Wait, this way? Oh, yeah. Okay, ready? Okay, ready?
Wait.
No.
Hold on. Okay.
Right. Ready and right in. Think. That was fun.
Great.
Yeah. multiple takes because if we're just filming, then I'll just cut it where it feels good. Then I'll just cut it. Then I'll just cut it. Then I'll just cut it.
We're gonna
It what?
It's 8 o'clock here, so everyone is fucking howling.
Oh my god, I hear it!
Yeah, that's why I'm like, hold on. We'll have to cut.
Also, now the sun is like right on my face.
Yeah,
God damn it.
perfect.
Hang on, let's get over here.
Great
That
people.
was up train. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Fucking train. Woo, woo. I get howls, you get trains.
There's just no justice in this world.
Yeah. Now it's my fucking train. I told you.
Maybe it's the same train, and it just
Wow,
jumped.
we got here that fast.
Like, you got to be shitting me. That's the second train.
We are cursed by trains.
Is like Wednesday the heavy train day?
It was what kind of magic caused this? And so that's why you have to get the background.
I wonder if maybe they have thrown in front of a train.
Yeah, let's do that.
And then I get to the. Oh my god. How do you not? You hear that, right?
I heard that one big time. And then I heard we had like a firecracker just go off. Or a gun. One of the two. Yeah. I'm like running into things. I'm like, oh shit, I can't fit this chair.
Are you next to a wall? Go the other way!
I'm like, there's a closet, but even this way my bed is, there's no way to get. I can try to get out of frame.
Can you go?
Because then I'm going into the screen, but that's as far as I can go.
And cut. Adam!
Yay!
And it kind of got darker in my end too.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right.
Great.
I'm gonna end it now.